Lexington, April 19th, 1775. It's 5 a.m., and the distant beat of a drum signals what's to become a pivotal moment for a nation yet to be formed.
This is probably one of the most important pieces of property in American history.
Standing on the Lexington Green, historian Alex Kane explains how hundreds of British soldiers were on the march from Boston. Their mission? Seize arms and ammunition stored by Massachusetts provincial forces in Concord.
Company will advance!
Coincidentally, Captain John Parker, commander of the Lexington Militia, had also gathered 77 of his men on the green that fateful morning for what was supposed to be normal military training.
Where we're standing right now is about the battle line of where Parker's would have been located.
What happened next changed the course of history.
The British column could have ignored them and kept going to Concord. They could have just come down Bedford Road here and sort of have a verbal exchange. However, the two main companies out the front of the British column, the 4th Foot and the 10th Regiment of Foot, came onto the green and immediately displayed into a battle line.
It was then that a shot rang out. Chaos and carnage ensued.
We have no idea who fired it to this day, and as a result, the British fired a full volley, roughly 100 muskets, point-blank range, into the Lexington Company.
Captain Parker was really sick on April 19th. He was suffering with tuberculosis.
Steve Cole is a native of Lexington.
Order your fireworks!
On Sunday morning, April 19th, 2025, he will be portraying Captain Parker during the historic annual reenactment of the Battle of Lexington.
So when we're standing out here in character, portraying and honoring these men, and you hear the drums coming down the street, I can't describe the feeling. I can just say we have a sense of what it might have felt, just a smidge what it felt like for them back then. Next to being a father, Doug, it's one of the most proud things that I can do in my life.
I portrayed Jedediah Monroe. At the time of the fight, he was about 54 years old. Not a particularly well-to-do farmer.
Bill Rose also volunteering his time to portray an American hero. The Navy veteran believes honoring a man who died later that same day, 250 years ago, is his duty today as an American.
What is so important to you that you give your life for it? And these guys decided they were going to stand here in the green and at least make a statement.
On any given day, this is simply the town green here in Lexington. But for those who study history, this is sacred ground. For buried behind me are 7 of the 8 men who died that day.
It is sacred ground.
People go, well, 8 killed, 10 wounded, that's not much. Wait a minute, think about the population of the town back then. You're talking about 10 to 15% of the male population is dead or wounded. That's going to make the evening news.
Thousands are expected to surround the green on the 19th and witness firsthand what it might have been like that chilly April morning. For those whose passion it is to share that monumental moment in time with others, they believe it is their responsibility to represent the past, so the memory of those lives will continue to be honored and remembered in the future.
That's our whole mission. We want to make sure that this story stays alive forever, that these men and women are never forgotten. In 50 years from now, no one's ever going to remember who Steve Cole was, but it's my job and our mission to make sure they know who John Parker was.